Hey, welcome back to my channel. I'm not fond of the lighting, number one. I'm just not fond of the lighting at all. I'm actually really annoyed at the lighting. How are you? I wanted to discuss something. I had to discuss this. This was on my mind. I was thinking about it. You know what I mean? I have to discuss it. So, the concept of being alone in our society is not talked about. It's not reinforced. It's not publicized. It's not discussed. It's not glorified, and it should be, all of these things. Why? Because solitude, when you can be alone, okay, you can breathe mentally, you can think mentally, you can understand things. And people who always need to be around other people are never going to be able to learn. They're never going to be able to understand. Understand what? Understand who they are. Understand themselves, right? Because they're too busy interacting all of the time. It's constant interaction. What happens to you when you have constant interaction? You become a huge part of your environment easily. Not only that, you become more a part of your environment than not. You are not singular. You are not unique. You are not a force. You are not a enterprise. You are not a business. You are part of the masses. And when you're part of the masses, you start to think like the masses. You guys understand that everything that we experience in the material world is a result of our consciousness. So how can you refine your consciousness, expand it, love on it, play with it, feel it out? If you're around other people, it's just not something that can be done. You're too busy interacting with your environment. You always have to have a response to different stimuli that is being thrown at you. That is taxing and exhausting if you've raised your vibration to a certain level, but that is also taxing and exhausting for the free thinker. That is taxing and exhausting for the person that knows that they don't want to talk about this stuff anymore. I don't want to talk about negative stuff anymore the way the rest of society so easily does, and it's not their fault. It's because of how they've been conditioned. People have been conditioned to think negatively. People have been conditioned to see the worst outcome in situations. People have been conditioned to stray as far away from their essence as they possibly can through media, through mass media, through commercialization of glorification of what's not important, through commercialization of anything and everything. You're constantly being fed commercials. You're constantly being fed programming. So you're never gonna, for example, whatever your goal is, because people have different goals. It could be a spiritual goal, like attaining liberation. It can be a material goal, like attaining $10,000. Whatever your goal is, you cannot easily get there unless you believe it to be possible, right? So if you keep listening to society's beliefs, if you keep listening to other people's beliefs, you're not going to believe these things to be readily, easily available and possible for you. Life is supposed to be real fun. And people do not know that. They have forgotten that. But guess what? When you were a child, you had so much fun, right? When I was a child, I had so much fun. I still have so much fun. So that's because I consider myself a child. So human beings, they take this thing too seriously. They take adulting and life and their issues too seriously. Instead of using them as experiences as blessings, instead of using them as a blessing, because guess what? A blessing is only a blessing if you use it, if you utilize it. That way it can serve you. You cannot use things if you don't know their utilization, right? So you're just going to let them sit there. That's why people, a lot of the time, they don't count their blessings. They don't see what they've been given. They don't see that they have assets, different assets, energetic assets. Hey, you have the ability to think this way. You've experienced this thing in your life, so that makes you have the ability to think a certain way. No two people's lives are the same. That is your blessing, if nothing else. You know what I mean? That is your gift. Study your own previous, unique, past experiences, and you will see the blessings in your life to have been your whole life also, right? You will see your whole life as being one consistent blessing that just keeps showing you things. It keeps teaching you things. It keeps leading you places. It is trying to tell you something your life is, but people, they ignore the omens, they ignore the signs, they ignore what God is trying to tell them to do. They ignore what Source is trying to tell them to do because they think God has to do with religion, you see? So it's that whole issue of people being afraid to even venture into certain ways of thinking because they have these preconceived notions that one way is going to stay that way. No, God does not have to have a certain anything. You can see God if you just choose to see God. Just choose to see God. Is a decision. And a lot of people, they don't make decisions. They don't make decisions. Like, okay, I'm going to evolve out of this painful situation in my life so that I can, well, I don't know what's happening after that. I just know I have to evolve out of this because there's no other way to get out of this. I just have to evolve. You know, I have to change for the situation around me to change, right? So, like, when you realize that and you go, oh, haha, I'm tired of bitching. You know what I mean? I'm tired of complaining. I'm tired of being sick and tired. You know what I mean? Then you really do the work to get out of whatever situation that you're in. You do the inner work. It's inner work. Sometimes it requires changing around things physically as well, you know, but you're committed. Is it scary? It's the scariest thing in the world. Is it painful? It's the hardest and most painful thing in the world. Are you committed? That's it. That's the only question you need to answer. Are you committed? Because if you're not committed, you are going to, fall, but, you know, you will get back up because you're committed. Do you see what I'm saying? There's no other option. There's actually no other option. I'm not giving you a motivational speech on how to be committed. I'm telling you that you have no other option but to be committed to personal evolution, spiritual evolution. There's no other possible option. Because if you don't, life is going to suck. Life is going to suck. You're not going to be able to get over yourself. You're not going to be able to change. You know, you're going to be too attached to the way you were, too attached to your old ways of thinking. People need to get over themselves. It's not that you need to physically change things around. Do the inner work and you will be surprised how everything else just works out for you as you are led to it more and more. But you do the work that is necessary, whether it be inner or outer work. You do both of them at the same time too if you have to. You do whatever's necessary. You do whatever's necessary to personally evolve. That's it. That's it. It is a sexy path because it shows you how good you can get, how good you can be. You know what I mean? It shows you how strong, how, you know, mentally equipped you are, how spiritually equipped you are. Your life begins to mirror what you are made of. But you see it though. So if your life sucks, the input sucks. That's my friend. We have been eyeing each other from back there. He was chilling there before this. You know? So it's just a cool sentiment to understand that everything we need is within us. Everything we need is within us. We can just sit back, relax, ride the wave of what we need to do, and we do it. We do it with gratitude, you know? And that's it. And you become the master of your conditions because you become the master of your inner conditions, your mind. So you become the master of all conditions that affect you. And it's not the ego that is doing this. You have to understand, it's a very beautiful state to be in, but it's a very pure state. You're not egotistical. You're not you're not overly confident or brazen or disillusioned. You are aware of the human experience. You are extremely emotionally involved into it. So you know that you will break and break many times, but you will always be whole. Or you know that you'll never bend, you know that you'll never break, but you'll instead bend. You know, like that analogy where you'll get so close to being done for, and then you shoot up like a sprout, like you just or like a firework, you just explode in resistance to having the ego self take over, or having the I'm getting distracted because someone doesn't understand what I'm saying, so I'm trying not to pick up your guys' energies, because I pick up the energy of people who watch me. You have to understand, especially when I do these channeled videos. But you really live as your higher self when you do that. And so people have to know this. I understand that not everybody's privy to this knowledge or information, but I don't care. I'm not here. I'm not in the business of weeding out who deserves this information, who doesn't deserve it. If you know how to apply it, then you deserve it. And if you don't know how to apply what I'm saying, then you don't deserve what I'm saying. That's it. It's so easy. Because you want to know what? The people that understand what I'm saying will use this information if they're not stupid. You know what I mean? If they're not like completely, you know, mentally unaware of what's really going on, then they'll do what I'm saying. You know what I mean? And they'll actually take their lives into their own hands because I'm telling you how to do it. I'm telling you how to do it. I'm telling you it's possible to live as your higher self, to experience magic and miracles and all these things into your life. It is very possible. And people should know that. Yeah. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you did. This was a channel timeless message for you. And I'll talk to you in the next video.